Good afternoon, guys, and happy Sunday to all of your sunshiny faces. Guys, we went to go see Endgame today. I've been taking it kind of hard, guys. Like, I'm not trying to reveal any spoilers or anything like that, but, guys, I just, like, it's the end of an era. Like, you know, the saga has kind of come to an end here, and although the MCU isn't over, you know, our storyline is kind of over here. I mean, it's called Endgame. That should give it away. So it's not a spoiler. I've just been taking today kind of hard ever since we saw it, which yeah, guys, we still had snow on the ground today. Well, I got up this morning. We ended up going to Menards. I actually got up like kind of early. Like I went to bed Friday night. I think I went to bed kind of late. Yesterday night I went to bed a little late. Saturday I woke up like really late. And then I think I woke up at like 11 or something like that. And then today I woke up like about 9 o'clock or so. And we ended up going to Menards. And I told you guys I need to get those baskets for the like laundry room, and so I went and got those, and then we needed to get those for the potatoes and everything, so we went there. We walked around a little bit more. We also needed dog food and like some other stuff, so we went to like I said, to Menards. Then we came back and it was just about an hour. We ended up going then to go see the movie. Our showing time was at 1:45. We ended up leaving about 1 o'clock. Got there a little bit-ish early. Actually, the concession line was like really what took us longest. We were probably, like, we had pre-ordered tickets and everything like that, so we just ended up going to like the little, at this place they have like a little kiosk thing where you just go and you like get the tickets or whatever. So we ended up going and doing that, and then we went and stood in the concession lines, and that was like forever. And it was probably like, I'd say close to 10 minutes maybe, almost, like 5 to 10 minutes probably, between like when we got in line and when we actually got our food and like everything like that, which we just ended up getting like popcorn and drinks. So then we ended up going to go see the movie, which, like I said, guys, I'm just like, I'm processing it. The thing was, like, after Infinity War, which, like, okay, that's Infinity War and then this is Endgame. But, like, with, like, last year when we went to go see Infinity War, like, it left you on such a cliffhanger, and you're like, oh, wow, like, I want to look up all these spoilers, and I want to look up, like, all this kind of crazy stuff, you know, everything. And, you know, like, not spoilers, but, like, I want to look up, like, what are the theories? How are people thinking that, like, you know, the next movie's what's gonna come out and everything like that. And, like, I feel like most of the movies, like, at least with the Avengers, like, you could kind of, like, even though the first Avengers movie didn't really play directly into, like, Age of Ultron, but, like, even to, like, the, like, Captain America Civil War, like, that ended up kind of coming into play, like, even in this movie, in the other movie, like, in some of the, you know, they all kind of, like, stack on top of each other. And, like, you know, so, like, the last movie especially, you're like, holy cow, like, what's gonna happen in the next one? So you're, like, looking stuff up and everything like that. But with this one, you just, it is a beautiful bow, you know, tied on there. And obviously, like I said, they're still going forward with the whole MCU and everything like that, so it's not like the end of it, but it's the end of kind of this whole Infinity saga. And so that's the part that's like kind of hard, is that they wrap it up and you're still left with like some things like, oh, this is, you know, kind of a teaser as to what's coming next, you know, but there's no like real big like, holy cow, like what are they doing next, or, you know, anything like that. Like, I don't know if they're going to do just more like, I mean, I know that they bought the rights to do like the X-Men and stuff like that, but like, you know, because so much of the X-Men stuff had like kind of just come out, it feels kind of rushed to like be like right back into it and everything like that, like, you know, with the different studio now doing it. And that's actually what I was reading from somewhere else too, was that, and like I kind of agree, and that's what I was even thinking too, because I was like, didn't like the X-Men movies are like just came out like recently when Fox still had it, and now that Disney has the rights to it, it's like, you know, if they're gonna do that now in Marvel and everything like that, in the whole MCU, like, you know, isn't that kind of like rushed now and almost like confusing? Because I will be honest with you guys, when they did Spider-Man, when they did The Amazing Spider-Man, and they did those 2 movies, which I was about ready to go see, I think the second one, and I ended up not actually, or maybe it was the first one, the first Amazing Spider-Man. I was gonna go see it and in theaters, but I ended up actually staying back at the hotel because what had happened was our power went out and was out for several days, or maybe like 24 hours, 48 hours, like maybe 72 hours or something like that. We had a really bad storm in our area and our power was out, so we went to go actually stay at a hotel because at the time my grandma was living with me and she wasn't in the best health, so we couldn't like leave her in the hot house in the middle of summer with no power, because again we had a storm and everything like that and knocked power out for like a while. And so then we ended up taking the dogs with too, which we had Bliss and Ike, I think, at the time. So we took the dogs with too, and so my dad, my mom, Matthew, and Jack and asked me if I wanted to go see the movies, and we're going to leave my grandma in the hotel with the dogs. I didn't feel comfortable with that, so I was like, I'll stay here and stay with my grandma and watch the dogs again, because she wasn't in the best health and she just had her stroke. And so not so long ago, but I wasn't thinking it was the smartest idea to leave her there with the dogs. Like if she had like decided she was gonna go outside of the like hotel room or something like that, and the dogs would have gotten out, like it would have been a mess. So the hotel we were staying at actually allowed the dogs, like allowed dogs, so it was really nice that we were able to keep them there with us and not have to have them stay in the house when again it was really hot. And it was like weird, we were like in a weird heat wave too, so it was also really bad to like be at the house at that time. So yeah, I didn't feel comfortable, so I ended up, like I said, staying there when they all went to go see the movie. I think that was the first Amazing Spider-Man. I think it was at my sophomore year. Which, like I said, I think that would have been the first movie, maybe the second one. But I remember that movie had like just come out or something like that, or the first one, and then they came out with the second one. But then I think that was just when like Civil War came out a few years after the Amazing Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2 or whatever. I thought that Spider-Man was the same Spider-Man, and like, because again, I wasn't totally into like the whole thing that was going on with MCU and everything like that, and I didn't realize that it was separate from that or whatever. I think that was, like I said, a few years after. I don't know the exact order of when this stuff came out, but my thought process was like, oh, that's the same Spider-Man. So I feel like if they do the same thing with X-Men, it's gonna be like, well, didn't they, you know, like they're setting like the story for like, or you know, they have the story kind of and or wrapping it up or whatever with like Fox and stuff like that, and that they just had Logan come out like not too long ago either. And so like if you're trying to do it like right on the heels of when the other ones, you know, just finished, I feel like again that's kind of confusing, which is how I felt with Spider-Man. Like I was like, wait, I'm confused, like what's going on? And I think, like I said, I think it was Civil War that happened, because that's when the first time he was in it. So that again confused me, and I don't know how many years difference it was, but I just was very confused as to like, oh, like I thought he had his own movies first, then he was in like Civil War. That I didn't realize that it was like, I didn't even know it was a different actor or anything. I never even saw the movies, but I was just thinking like that was it. So like I said, from what I understood, also reading like some other theories and stuff like that, was that they'll probably wait a while to actually like introduce them if and when they're going to, which is probably again going to happen at some point since they do have the rights to it. But my thing is just like, what is their main big story? Is it going to just keep including like, you know, little things here and there, like little side stories and stuff like that of people, and you know, like smaller villains and stuff like that? Or are we gonna have like a big main villain or group of villains or something like that that's going to, like, what is the next, you know? And I don't even want to say phase, because they use the phases, like phase 1 was the original like Avengers, and then they had phase 2, and we're in or going into phase 4 or whatever it is, or ending phase 4. And so I don't want to use phases, but like the era or the saga, I guess that whole saga is done. The MCU still exists, but now we're moving into a new saga. What is that like? And there was really no teaser necessarily for what that's supposed to be. So for me, I'm like I just like feel so empty, like the way it's, like, I love the way it ended. I thought it was a crazy amazing movie, but at the same time, like, I don't know what's coming next, and that's what's kind of bothering me. That's why I told you guys, I was like, I'm so sad and so scared to go and see this movie. The thing is too, guys, me and Jack were the only ones in that 3-hour-long movie that did not get up to have to go pee. My mom, my dad, Matthew, and his girlfriend all got up at one point. And me and Jack were the only two that never got up and left our seats, like to get up to go to the bathroom or anything like that. I made it through the entire 3-hour movie without having to get up, guys. Although at the beginning of the movie, my stomach was hurting, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. Like, I felt like I was like gonna be sick. And I was like, seriously? I was like, I am like gonna watch this movie, I don't care. And then I think it was actually just like butterflies. I'm not even joking, that's how nervous I was for this movie. And once it started, I think I kind of like started to calm down. The other thing was too, guys, was that we were sitting all the way in the back row, and we were at a different movie theater than the one we normally go to. And so they had a ledge in front of the like our level on the top, and so when I reclined back, I couldn't see the screen. Like, half the screen was cut off. So I was like, oh my gosh, really? So I had to actually sit straight up watching the movie, which was a little frustrating. Like, I couldn't really enjoy it like reclined or anything like that, but I felt like it was also too the way I was sitting. I was uncomfortable. My legs and back are also really uncomfortable, but I didn't have to get up to go to the bathroom, which is a good thing, because I seriously was like, you know, like, as soon as you hear like it's gonna be 3 hours, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to get up to go to the bathroom at some point. But I realized like it really didn't seem that long. Like, I never noticed, like, I felt like at the beginning too, like I said, I was like, I can't get up to go to the bathroom like if I needed to. And you know how you like psych yourself out when you're like, you know you can't go and do something, so then you think you have to actually go and like go to the bathroom. If somebody tells you can't, then you think that you have to. Or like, you know, somebody tells you like you can't have water, and all of a sudden you're like, but I'm so parched. Like, if you hadn't have thought about it, you wouldn't have realized that like you needed water or anything like that. So yeah, it's like one of those things. And so that's how the beginning of the movie started off for me. I was like, maybe I should just go now. I was like, but I just went to the bathroom before I left the house. I don't have to go. And so yeah, guys, I made it through, but the rest of my party did not end up making it through. So I had to tell Matthew when he got back what he missed, because he told me he full on was sprinting down the hallway. And then when he washed his hands, he didn't even dry his hands. He was just running through the like the hallways, shaking his hands off, because yeah, guys. So yeah, that's where I am with the whole end game right now. I'm just like, I want to know what's next, and that's probably the part that like, that's why I was so scared and so sad to see what was going on. But there was such cool stuff. There was so much like symbolism in it. There's a lot of references actually to the comic books, which I've never really read any of the comic books, but there's just things that I've like seen or other like references to and stuff like that. There was actually a lot that I noticed, which is like really cool too. And like a lot of other things, like there's so many references to earlier stuff in like the like all of the other movies and everything like that. There's actually something from one of the TV series. There's also something too that's specifically in one of the movie or TV series that isn't in any of the movies that did show up here, that I was like, that's kind of cool too. So there was a lot of things that like I said were pretty cool, and like I said, it was an amazing movie. But I'm just so sad it's all over, guys. I'm excited to kind of see what's next, especially because I know that like Spider-Man, the next Spider-Man movie is supposed to follow very quickly after this. And like to see what's going on and everything like that. I think it's really cool, and kind of like, I guess it's supposed to kind of be the aftermath, at least that's what I kind of got. But I'm excited for that, but also want to know like what is the next, like what's the next story here, like what is going to be the next 10 years, you know. It's also kind of sad because it's like almost like saying goodbye to like family, you know, like just like the whole even if like other people come back and stuff like that, like I said, maybe some of the newer characters, but maybe some of the older characters, if they are just kind of like phased out or whatever, you know, it's like hard. It's like family, like we watched like those movies and those, you know, and it's just, it's tough, guys. And granted, I haven't been following them for 10 years. Like Matthew saw the original Avengers. I think I told you guys about that. And I think I did. I really think I saw like part of it like when it kind of came out, but I wasn't really big into it. The first Marvel movie I really ever saw that's, I guess, canon in the MCU was Ant-Man. And then when we watched all of them over this, it was last spring, I think, or something like that, last like winter, spring. And so yeah, but now it's like I'm so invested in this, and like I haven't even been a fan for 10 years or like watching it for 10 years, and yet I'm so sad it's over. So I mean, not over, but again, like I said, kind of just the start of something new but the end of something old. So I'll see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give it a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.